here, and let's get over to Twitch and let's edit this son of a gun. Well, welcome everybody. This is your always under production Painting with Menoth John pre-ramble, where we defy logic and defy. Whoa! Always under production Painting with Menoth. Oh, that's why I'm getting echo because I need to shut that off. All right, there we go. Woo! That was interesting. So this is
there were some updates to things, and they changed stuff like they want to do.
Yeah, this. So episode 174. This is, I swear, this is the last Bearisode. Because nobody wants to sit and watch the same thing get painted 400 weeks in a row. That is just not okay. All right,
I mean, we barely have any viewers anyways.
I know. I mean, they're barely hanging on by the I tried, John.
We've got up the quality of this.
I think I upped the quality.
Quality.
The quality, man. That was one grisly joke you made there. Oh, we got a million of them, folks.
I'm gonna stop handing to everyone.
Oh.
It's a good thing we record this because there's no one there to.
No, we got a couple people it looks like are watching for some reason. Hi everybody, welcome to the Wednesday night extravaganza. I am of course your host, Mr. John, Menoth John, whatever you want to call me. The guy who's pushing the buttons and making your dreams come true here. I'm not Pedro, but what the hell? Where's the goddamn... There it is. Okay, there we go. Jeez Louise. Ladies and gentlemen, Streamlabs OBS for the win. Cleaning my glasses just like you are, my friend. So,
yeah.
So here we find ourselves once again at the turntable. Of course, with me is the dulcet tones himself. You know him best as the co-host with the most, Mr. John Spencer.
He who likes bear puns.
We like puns in general. They're punderful.
The bear ones especially. Every time I tell one, and Creekins would look at me like she wanted to murder me. That was a sign of victory.
Ha cha cha. So for those of you playing along with the What Does Menoth John Weigh This Week game, I'm down to 171 and some change. So we are quickly approaching the green zone, which is super sweet and totally legit. We are going to have a wonderful show for you tonight. For those of you who are playing along at home, if you want to leave a message letting us know that we actually have audio, that would be totally great.
That would be super legit.
Yep. And just let us know that you're out there because we care. We are your Wednesday night addiction. We're not as addictive as a Sunday night addiction, but that's okay. We are our own show. Again.
Man, I tell you, John, I'm looking at this. I've been trying this Turbo Dork color shift again. Just hoping to get some inspiration for these Obsidian Oni. Maybe I could do something cool with it. And it looks so much better painted in every way they didn't tell you to. They tell you, put it over black, do like 3 to 5 small coats. And it looked okay.
Okay.
But I put it over purple, because it's sort of a purpley. It goes from sort of, it's 3D glasses. It goes from sort of a bluish to a sort of a reddish purple. It looks really good over that at about 2 coats.
Huh.
And this time I put it over Scale 75 black metal.
Okay.
And after 2 coats, it looks really good. It's got a really good shift on it. I do not know why it works better on everything but the way they tell you to paint it.
It could very well be that they are idiots.
Yeah, because, I mean, I like it. I really like the paint. It's really cool. I'm not sure it's going to be right for the guys I'm looking at it for, but...
Yep.
Sometimes you just test. I mean... My favorite part of the model is the shield here. It actually looks...
Oh, that's bad. That's
really
badass. Yeah, that looks really cool.
The rest of the model is okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't exactly paint the yellow too well. I was just trying out some stuff.
Yellow's a son of a gun.
Model. I love these GW, what we like to call juice boxes with the 3 models for a really cheap price. You can glue them if you want, or just fit them together, or throw them on a base, and be like, let's test some paints.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm hoping that people are hearing me. I'm gonna put my phone on here and see if I can actually hear us.
Oh, I can hear us. 1 second.
Okay. And then immediately I stopped talking, so that's really helpful. See if you can actually hear us here now. I'm talking so that I can be heard. And according to...
No.
What's that?
I could hear, but I don't think I could hear me.
Okay.
Very weird.
All right, so let me see
I
here.
still hear the music in the background.
You hear music in the background. Oh, maybe I need
do
to...
hear me, and I do hear the music in the background, so...
Oh, well, maybe the
probably
before
good.
the show doesn't have actual... Does it have mixer board input? Let's see here. I'm seeing... Okay, talk for a second.
Talk for a second. What do you want to talk about? I can talk about all sorts of things.
Well, that's... According to this, hang on. Let me bring this up on the old... I'll listen to it here on... Well, the fact is that it's only on Twitch, so I need to bring it up on Twitch. I think I still have that app on here. Well, hang on. I can do this. Oh, there's my dog. I mean, heaven forbid my dog, like... Here, let's see here. All right.
Not act full?
Oh, I'm hearing you. I mean, heaven forbid...
Okay, yeah, I heard me a little bit after, but I just didn't hear it. I guess I was talking... Not act... Oh, hey, we got Congo the drummer gun in here.
I'm hearing you.
Hail Boop now.
Yay!
He can let us know what we sound like.
Yeah, let me hear. I mean, if John's signal needs to be boosted a little bit, I can do that. If my dog's barking needs to be boosted a little bit, I can do that too.
Oh, Crimson's in too.
Hey, Crimson. How's John Spencer's audio sound?
Yeah, I can boost my own audio too if I need to. I've got that kind of microphone.
I have that kind of. I'm gonna boost you up a little bit. I don't think you're loud enough. There we go. I boosted you up a little bit.
All right.
Cool.
Boost.
All right. So Hail Bop or Congo the Jorgamon says it sounds fine. Well, that's good.
Excellent.
So on tonight's show, we've got an action-packed, thrill-seeking combination of activities involved for tonight. We have there you hear the fabulous dulcet tones of Chewy the Wonder Dog, otherwise known as Chucifer, or the Chosen One.
Remember, John, Chuchilla, the little Wookiee monster.
Yeah, Chuchilla the Wookiee monster, from of course Hardware Wars. Famous stuff there. Let's see here. Okay, so
Still
I noticed
better than episode 1. That actually may not be true. I'm being a little harsh here.
So here we're gonna do here tonight. I'm gonna be painting this goddamn bear, and I'm gonna be making every effort possible to get it done. So what's interesting here is I'm running the Restream chat window here to keep an eye on things. And that tells me how many people are watching us. We've got 3 people. Sometimes it's 4. Then people wise up and do something else.
Well, yeah, people are busy. I know Brett Painter, who's normally trying to show up for the show. He's at the games and stuff playing Malifaux because he wanted to drop off some cards. So I'm like, not on Wednesday, dog.
Yeah. Come on, Brett.
As it was, I didn't get up here and fire up my computer till basically 7:20.
Yeah,
Eastern.
That's about what I did here. I had a couple more things to do because, as I was mentioning earlier on, Troll Chuck managed to jack the camera up all over the place, so I had to kind of realign and reset my... I had to use my horizontals and my verticals. I had to use paint with straight lines and curves there for a second. That's a throwback.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I had a hell of a... I mean, when you have a meeting at work from 8:30 to 4:30, and then you have to go do, like, your job for the day,
yeah,
and the rest of the time you're at work, you're, like, running to get shit done.
That will break your soul just a little bit.
Why they put me in charge of shit? That may not have been the best idea.
So we've got the second bear that we're going to be painting here on the show tonight. It's going to try to be more polar bear than the last one was. I'm going to be working on the metals at first, just the white metals, silver metals. Yeah, it's metal as hell. And we're going to then be working on... I'm hoping to get to the point where I can do a little bit of washing on this, just to kind of see where we're going to net out on this polar bear fur. And we talked about it on the show last time. I've got some Reichland flesh shade. I've got some Seraphim sepia. Probably going to go with the Seraphim sepia on this one. Try to pull it to that brown.
Yeah, the Reichland would be a little reddish. It'd be a little weird. Orange-ish is probably okay.
Yep, so we're going to try that. Give that some shots, if you will. Are you going to be using super metallics? Exactly. We are going to be doing that. I'll be using P3 Super Metallic Quicksilver, or I think. Or will I be using... No, I'll probably not be using Quicksilver. I'll probably be using Cold Steel. Cold Steel. It's like blue steel, only it's colder. So I got to shake this up. So I might play a game of War Machine, John.
What?
Yeah, I might play a game of War Machine. So one of my local fellows here, and by local I mean like 3 or 4 blocks from me, moved from Canada, and he played War Machine up there. He's a Keyforge player, and his name's Corey. He's a great guy, and he is going to. He said, I'd like to play some War Machine. I'm like, that we can do. Now, when he moved from Canada, he didn't bring his models, and he had some Khador and stuff like that. And I said, I've got models. You don't worry about that. And so I think we're going to play a little slow grow, and Charles is going to join us, and he's going to play along. So that'll be great. And he's a really super chill guy, has absolutely karmically aligned with all of the things that are Painting with Menoth John. He's a casual player, filthy casual, and is going to we're going to start off, I think, at 25 points, and then we're going to take it up to 35 points, and we'll take it up to 50, and then 75, and then we'll regret it, and then to go back down to a lower point level. Yes, filthy, hardcore casual as can be.
Absolutely, yeah. That sounds interesting. It's sort of the thing here is we still have players, but they're all playing all tournament style all the time, and it just hurts my soul.
So if we're having fun with it, I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably spend the money on Oblivion and get me some of that campaign action.
Oh yeah.
And just play the campaign out of my basement, which would be super.
I have to say this. I said this on another podcast that when PP puts out something casually,
support it.
We all have to do everything we can to support it if we want to play that. Or them failing or not supporting casual is no longer their fault. It's our fault.
Yeah, no kidding.
If they do something for us and we don't support it,
that's a really good perspective.
It becomes our fault.
That's a really good perspective, John.
I think said I'm probably not going to buy it because I haven't even played a game this year.
Yeah, I'll buy it, and if it looks like Corey's going to want to play and Charlie might want to play, it's a good thing to kind of throw into the mix. We busted out the Monpoc the other day, and
cool.
that was even fun.
There's a lot of games where if you just don't go too far into them, you can just play them. Like we all went way too far into too many games. Don't pretend, didn't all of us.
Yeah.
If you just have like a little army and the little things you can add on here or there, you're like, it's fine. You can play all the games because like I've got not so much money involved in this game, and I got a lot of use out of it. And I painted this stuff. I've got all my fun out of enjoyment out of it. But when you have like all the things in triplicate, we may be taking it too seriously. I've been trying not to do that nowadays. I've got lots of stuff from Malifaux I want to buy, but I'm like, no.
Yep.
I'm only gonna buy the stuff I'm trying to play.
Fair enough. I'm kind of wondering if I couldn't do Riot Quest with the PP models that I already own.
Oh, possibly. I mean, I haven't played it yet. I hear it's sort of like it's aiming for casual, which is funny because the similar GW game actually touts the opposite, where it's the their big competitive game. Which I find that very amusing.
And that's the one that it's supposed to be like is like what? The
Warhammer Underworlds.
Underworlds? Okay.
Which is a hoot. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty fun, pretty interesting. It can scratch a lot of itches, but I just don't have anyone. Even the roomie plays occasionally, Banyan, but not too much. So
let me. I need to get back to a comment that Crimson made in the chat room here. For washing the bears, try mixing Bialtan green with Bealtine green, maybe, with Seraphim sepia. Question for you, Crimson. What would be the closest PP color to that? Are we looking at something like a battle dress green, maybe?
Probably the olive, I would say. Probably
Ordic olive. Ordic olive.
Yeah, maybe if you water that down a bit. I would test it on something first if you can. Just get that really watery down, mix it with the wash, and see if you get a good khaki-ish olive tone there.
Gnarls green. Where the hell's my Ordic olive? Damn it. Battle dress green. Where did I put it? I know I have that color. Of course I've got that color. Let's see here. It's the GW bright green shade. So it would be, but I know I have this color. I don't know. I have Ordic olive. I just don't know where it is. Iocian green. See, I have my colors are arranged by, my paints are arranged by color. Oh, there it is. It had just separated so much that I couldn't recognize it as green anymore.
Does it look kind of brown?
Yeah, kind of. Oh, no, see, it's got, here, I'll put it on the camera so you can see it. See, you can see it's kind of, I don't know, let me mix a little bit of it up over here on my wet palette.
Yeah, just take a look, see what it looks like. I mean, I think that if you're looking for an olivey, if you want that sort of olivey tone, I mean, I feel like mixing it with the olive color is the best bet. It's a little bright inherently, but I think once you mix that stuff together, it'll look pretty good, possibly.
Okay, let's give it a shot. So
I mean, worth the test.
Yeah, what can go wrong, right? All right. Oh, look at this ball mason jar.
Shit happens, right?
Yeah, that's right, buddy. And you know what? Even if it is a little bit not perfect on the bear, who cares?
Yeah,
who cares?
They're fantasy models. The bear's a little green. Shit happens.
You never seen a green bear before? Well, you've been looking in the wrong places. Because I got bears in low places. Sorry.
Bears in low places.
Because
I think I'm putting bears in the song. That's... I mean, do we follow up with Bears on Parade?
Bears on Parade.
Figure you get a tickle out of that.
People ain't seen a bear since their grandparents owned one. There we go. Well, that's greenish brown, I guess. Kind of looks like baby shit.
No matter what it'll look like on something.
Yeah.
So I wish I had more test models just ready to go. I might do that one weekend, just get a bunch of my extra models out of one of my extra boxes, and I do mean like extra, and just like get them primed up so I can just test shit on them.
So I'm gonna do his front paw.
There you go.
So
easy to fix if you need to.
That's right. See what we
I'll
got
show
here.
up a lot of stuff when we switch to painting cams that I was working on this week. That some relevant to your interest, and some just stuff I was working on and trying out.
So I think this is actually going to work. And I think what I'm going to end up doing then is just coming back with a dry brush white, high white on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to look really interesting. I'm going to play with this a little bit more.
John, you'll get a hoot out of this. When they changed over to 3rd edition Malifaux, they changed the factions on a handful of models.
Oh, really?
2 of the models they changed or took out of factions are literally the 2 models I have painted.
Oh, that sucks.
Luckily, I can still use one of them because it changed to my one of my secondary factions, but the other one I just cannot even use.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm like, it happens. It's understandable, but man. Oh, sorry. They were formerly the only 2 models I have painted. I have more models painted now.
Well, that's good.
In fact, I finished up 4 of this last batch, pretty much. I'm on a roll.
All right, so I'm going to not spend all this time painting this bear without the painting camera on.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
So I'm going to save this after I get one half of it done. I'm just gonna kind of, while we're kind of waiting for the crowd to show up, because that's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I have faith in Brushhead Nation, and I'm gonna get this guy washed on this one side so that we can get, we can give it the business on camera.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, washes off camera are great because it takes long to dry if you're working on just one model.
Yep.
Like, you're not like some silly guy like me having like 7 models on his painting table.
No, I need to get. What I do need to do though is I need to. I got that second unit of Swamp Shamblers, and I need to finish those bad boys up.
Oh, relevant to your interest, I'll be showing off some contrast paint stuff today.
Nice.
So you can see what that looks like. They're very furry models, so I decided to go with it, and I think you'll be interested to see what they look like.
I will be interested to see what they look like. I'll be very interested. So I'm coming along here. So this is interesting. I think once I come back with the dry brush, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. I think I'm going to give Crimson I'm going to give him MVP of the pre-ramble right now. I mean, it's a little premature. I'm breaking some molds here by giving the MVP award for the pre-ramble out this early, but he might be onto something here.
The coveted MVP.
You know, so many people have fought for the MVP of the pre-ramble that I don't like to talk about it any more than I do, because I mean, let's not forget the incident of episode 432, and we'll never forget. I know. So, I mean, this is
Conco, you got a roll? Sorry, man.
Aw. Well, I mean, thanks for stopping. Sure appreciate it. And, tune in next week. It will not be a bear. I promise.
Unless I paint a bear.
Unless you paint. Well, it's true. You know, that's a wild card right there.
But all my bears have 4 arms.
all my bears have 4 arms. No, anyway. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's a thing that I just did, and we'll do more of that thing here very shortly. I hate to turn on the cams. What's that?
That thing you do?
That thing. I'm gonna do that thing I do. I barely have a chance at doing that thing. All right, so it's a little green. I can't. It's gonna be an interesting pair of bears pulling this thing, but that's okay. We're gonna adapt and overcome. So
we're gonna bear with it till we see what it bears fruit.
Honest. Oh, damn, that was great. Something just got delivered. That's interesting. Probably school supplies, because that's about to happen.
Yep. What time do your kids go back?
They go back on Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Right after the holiday. So
yep.
I have.
Same here in most of Maryland.
Yep. I have Friday off for vacation because I don't work on Fridays now until October 1st. I'm trying to burn down my PTO. And then I'm taking the entire week of the first week of school off. Do stuff around the house, staycation type stuff, and get the kids off to school.
What you're saying is that you got time during the day with the kids not home, so you're like, hell yeah!
Fuck yeah! Gonna get all after, maybe do some more painting, perhaps, and some sleeping.
I was originally going to take some time off this week because it's Nova, and then I didn't, which was a good call because I got a new client starting on Tuesday, so I got to learn all that shit between now and Tuesday.
Well, then you got a bit. You got your hands full, so yeah. So, good on all of you who are going to Nova. I've heard it's a pretty good show. Have not been.
Just a weird show. We might go a little bit. Might go for one day on the weekend. I'm trying to see what El Marshall wants to do. He moved to a new place. He's just finally getting it up, and he hasn't really played a game of anything in forever. So he might just try and get some games in with him or whatever.
We're peaking at 6 people right now, John. Thank you for the 5th and 6th person who showed up. Yay! You know, if you're watching the show, you should put something in the chat room. We love to chat and be interactive with our wonderful audience.
That is what's made us the media juggernaut we are.
We are. I mean, there's 9 out of 10 people tune in for this, and F that other guy. Trying to figure out where. Okay, yeah, this is good. All right, so I don't know. Do you want to start the show early?
We start the show early.
All right, we're gonna start the show early because I don't know what else to talk about. For years and years. Hey, look who's watching the show. What's up, Rich? Well, until he starts cooking dinner. We were playing Crossout earlier, and Rich showed me a build that's not super high powered that I was able to make, and I was pretty happy with it.
Cool.
Yep. That's a fun game. Rich, we should probably stream that sometime, just to everybody's, so that they can see it. It's a free to play, but you can buy currency that you can go out and, if you don't feel like crafting everything, you can spend some real world money. And with the hours of enjoyment,
if you got the time, you can spend the money.
If you got more money than time, boom. Yeah, we can do that. We can we'll put some we'll put some stuff together for John Con hype stream. Yes. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the show because we should. So anyway, here you go, folks. We don't even care enough anymore to stop the show. We're just gonna get going, cause giddy up. Anyway, this is the Wednesday night Painting with Menoth John extravaganza. Here we go.
Start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I figured out at the last second why the music wasn't playing. So what we're going to do is, because we are a high-quality, fantastic type of podcast, we're going to start the show over again because I finally figured it out with 2 seconds left. So there you go, and here we go. Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. Start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's technical abilities for us there, folks. We are your Wednesday night addiction, previously your Sunday night addiction, previously gone for 2 years, but here we are. Welcome to episode 174. We are the Painting with Menoth John podcast experience. I am Menoth John. I am in the controls. I have the verticals. I have the horizontals. But up in the corners, we have, of course, the co-host with the mo-host, Mr. John Spencer.
Hey-o.
Ho! Hey, so what was happening here, for those of you who aspire to be the level of podcast professionals that John and I are, is that the way that I produce the music so that I can hear it, because I like hearing the music too, is I play it through my computer. Well, turns out that if I play it through my computer and leave that input on for the rest of the show, we get echo, 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 echo. And so I have to mute it when I switch over to this one, because OBS isn't smart enough to not take that computer audio input during other scenes. So, hey, welcome, Ron lore. Is that lore about Ron? That sounds like a segment or a segue or something. Or something. So, John, we're well known for being a drinking podcast with a painting problem.
That's true.
And I am, of course, tonight. I've been trying to lose weight, and I've been pretty successful. So I've been kind of staying away from the booze a little bit, but I can't stay away from Woodford Reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that bottle. It's a pretty sad-looking little bottle, but it's a fine drinking whiskey. The art of making fine bourbon first took place on the site of Woodford Reserve Distillery, a National Historic Landmark, in 1812. We were fighting Canada in that year. That wasn't very patriotic of them to start making whiskey at the same time we were trying to fight off those damn Canadians. We had to make America safe from healthcare, and we did it. Damn it!
It's safe.
The perfectly balanced taste of our straight bourbon whiskey is comprised of more than 200 detectable flavor notes by somebody, from bold grain and wood to who the hell knows what wood tastes like? Are they
My ex-wife?
Oh! Sweet aromatics, spice, and fruit and floral notes. All I want out of whiskey is a buzz and a smooth drink, and this gives me both. So, John, what do you have in this evening?
Well, I'm speaking of our patron Saint Warcaster. I am having a force blow.
A force blow, you say? Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't been watching for years and years and years, and frankly, everyone that does watch this has been with us since years and years and years, so they know what a force blow is. But John, would you explain what a force blow is?
Well, force blow is cracking rum and orange juice.
It's like a power screwdriver.
Yep.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of in a tumbler. So there you go. Well, we're off to the races, folks. Well, on behalf of John Spencer, I'm Menoth John. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
That's good bass.
That's tasty.
All right, folks. Well,
it fights scurvy.
It does. It's like medicine, only drunker. Folks, if you're watching this show, you're watching this show on Twitch or Facebook. But if you're on Facebook, you could go to Twitch, and what you would see below is you would see a couple of links that you can click. One of them is to take you to a PayPal site that will allow you to donate to the John Con Charity Fund. And that charity fund we're running it to donate money to the Racine Food Shelter. And every dime that you put in there, it goes to feed the poor. So we are a podcast with a charity problem as well.
That's true.
And if you would like some swag, you'll notice down here in the corner, we've got Matt Locke. He's the angriest of all warjacks. He's a grumpy old fella with using a Zimmer frame. You can get, and it's on a shirt right here. You can take a look at my chest. There he is in all of his glory. And you can get some of that action. And you can also get Beer Forge merchandise if you want, if you're a fan of the Beer Forge show. Aces. You can also get the new logo, which is me as a warcaster leaning up against a can where my pole arm is actually a can opener. And that is our new logo for John Con. And John, you have one of those fabulous John Con 2019 shirts, do you not?
I do, actually. It's in the top of... hold on 1 second.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I did not prepare John for this particular opportunity.
Yeah. If John prepared, he would not be wearing a collared shirt like he has to for work some days. He would have been wearing this. But...
John, you look good. Oh, there you can see it right there. There's all my handsomeness, and there's a can of food, and I'm opening that can of food for it. And if you could hold it just a little higher, John. There we go. There it is. It's really spiffy. It's not nearly as masturbatory as the Podfather shirt, and you can get one of those at the if you follow the link below. Now, we just hope to heck that you're willing to give. We're not running a Patreon anymore, but we would sure appreciate your donations to the John Con Fund to help feed the poor.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you
Absolutely.
go. Here's your pimping. Were you aware, John, that we are sponsored by Tectonic Craft Studios?
I was not aware.
I wasn't aware of that either because we're not. But if we were, we would tell you that Tectonic Craft Studios makes the best things that can be made using MDF and laser beams. You know, the smell of burning wood is somewhat erotic for people. And
not for me.
One of those people
One
of those people is not John Spencer. One of the people who it might be is Arky Dan of Tectonic Craft Studios.
It might just be Arky Dan.
He is one of the 6 most beautiful people, and the first 5 don't count. And he burns things with lasers like, you know what? I bet you if we shot lasers at a hurricane, they would stop coming at the United States. That's how powerful laser beams can be.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I think we should start shooting them out of Puerto Rico so they stop going to Puerto Rico because
will it ever stop? And the answer is yes, if we shot it with laser beams.
That's right.
So,
lasers.
There you go. It's always been about laser beams. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can help prevent hurricanes in Puerto Rico if you get over to Tectonic Craft Studios and get some of his laser beamed MDF whatnots because they are fantastic. Remember, folks, do not, if you're playing War Machine, do not get the MDF hills because they're not in the rule book anymore. All right, so there you go, folks. That's all I have for sponsorship. John, do you have anything for sponsorship?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. If you're going to be in the greater Racine area, November 8th, 9th, and 10th, and you like the game of Keyforge, or if you don't like the game of Keyforge but would like to give me money and then hang out with a bunch of cool people, you can come to John Con. And that is the down here in Racine, Wisconsin. It's remarkably close to places that have airports. And so you could all fly in, and we're going to serve stuff made by Eric Mac Davis. He's a terrific chef. He's a professional chef, and it's going to be great. So there you go. I'm going to put on the painting cam, and we're going to get down to business. Now, if you're not tuning in to the pre-ramble, you're missing at least 30 minutes of the show or 20 minutes of the show. And we're gonna sell you the whole show, but we're only gonna charge you nothing because we don't have a Patreon anymore. If you remember from shows in the past, this is a bear, and it's a little washed out on the camera, but this was supposed to be a polar bear that turned into a brown bear, and you can tell that it's a brown bear because it has brown on it. And but we're gonna try on this one to make it a polar bear. Now, what we see here is the unwashed side. This is the kind of, it's like the trailer park side. It's unwashed. And what we're experimenting with in the pre-ramble was we did a mixture of Ortic olive and Seraphim sepia, and this was suggested by Crimson. And he is he claims to not be as familiar with the PP line, but he gave me the idea here to try a little Ortic olive. And John, you suggested the Ortic olive and some Seraphim sepia. And I changed this to this. Now you're saying to yourself, that is a strangely green bear. But we don't know that bears aren't green in the Iron Kingdoms, do we, John?
No, we don't.
No.
And I think, honestly, with a good dry brush or so, it'll actually look much different.
I think you're 100% right. But we're not here to do all of the shading on this. Well, but we could. We could fit. I got this wash over here, and if I don't use it, it's probably not going to be as good as if I used it right now. So I'm going to start putting a little bit of love here on here. Now, John, what are you painting this evening?
Well, I'm finishing up my Oni crew from Malifaux. I got a bunch of guys done. I got about half of them done, finishing up some more. I'm going to show off some guys who are...
oh, he's cool.
That's the fur is all from the Citadel contrast paint.
Interesting. So,
I'd say a little more than one, is mostly one coat, then with some touch-ups for part of a second. And it covers pretty well. I mean, I was really just originally doing something different with the feet and head, but it ended up being pretty good. A little pink for his tongue. I'll do some more details on him. And then this guy is a different color. He needs just literally one wash of it. Needs a little touch-ups here or there, but pretty good.
Very, very cool. Hey, John, I had an idea.
What's that?
You think we should revive the Brushhead Gallery?
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking that, so next week I am on vacation, which means I have a little bit more time. And I'm wondering if we should not just open up the old Brushhead Gallery again and see what, now that we're back, see what people have been working on. Kind of get the community back involved in the show, which always made it very special. And we'll revive that, and that's what we're going to do next week, folks. We're going to do Brushhead Gallery. And so if you want to take pictures of what you've been working on, and if you want some suggestions, awesome. You might want to offer me some suggestions, also awesome. And we will. What's that, buddy?
Either way that works, it's awesome.
Indeed. And so we'll plan on that for next week. We're gonna. I'll do up the whole thing, get the old PowerPoint presentation going, and the whole 9 yards, and we'll kick that back going again. I might show off. I haven't painted much, John, since the show ended the first time, so I really don't have anything extra to show off other than what I'm currently working on.
Which is surprising because I am sort of the opposite. My painting problems become quite a bit more significant.
Outstanding. Well, John, you go ahead and send me what you got, and
sure.
We'll put your stuff in there, and we'll talk about. It's all about encouragement, folks. We would like to build an inclusive community here that is going to reach out. And I got to tell you, there have been some. You think about Brian Latour and how he's progressed as a painter. He was always, he started off pretty good, but boy, oh boy, is he leveled up. And that's all about paint. That's all about practice, man. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Sorry, I was trying to breathe my force blow.
Don't breathe the force.
It didn't
blow.
work like that.
No, it's not. It's not that kind of blow, buddy.
After all these years, I can't breathe orange juice. I don't know what's going on.
What's
I've
going
been
on with
trying.
Man, I'll tell you what. I bet you. The fellas on Turkish Star Wars. I bet you they can breathe some orange juice.
Oh, probably. Honestly, those guys are out of control.
If you can, walk around with rocks on your shins and stuff, I gotta believe that within your power is to get some orange juice in those lungs.
I mean, honestly, the most impressive I am is that they can film that movie with a straight face.
I know, right?
I mean, that's impressive.
I love those guys. I mean, they're kind of my film heroes. They did so much with so little. They're now qualified to do anything with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because you look at that film and how much they didn't spend on it.
Yep.
Then you look at films that probably had a bigger budget and just how much worse they were. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to say, like, oh, it's a pretty good movie.
It's not bad.
All things considered, it's really not that bad. It is much more watchable than something like Robo Vampire.
I started watching that and then I didn't watch it anymore. But
I am pleased you actually choose to eject from that. You need to listen to me a little more when I say something's unwatchable.
Yeah, Brian is indeed an incredible painter. They're mentioning that he won one or maybe two of the categories at the Sue this year and deserved every one of them.
Oh, shit. Hey, Nevendar.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow, Nevendar. Jeez, ladies and gentlemen, if there's an old school brushhead, Nevendar is old school. He was there in the early days. And Nevendar, you're a fine painter yourself. So, all right. So I've probably put enough green on this bear, and in the meantime, while I've been using the brush to give the love to the bear, it was Crimson also said dry brush with Menoth white highlight and then pure white, and it'll look sweet. So we're gonna give that one a heck of a shot.
Absolutely.
Let's see, what did he? So Ron Lord is mentioning. I put it on long chops. Don't know why I bothered. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. So many shredders.
Oh, long chops in the Sue painting competition.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Long chops is a cool model. He's one of those ones that tempts me to pick him up and play with him because he's just cool.
Yep.
I think he paint up pretty well too. But
if I ever were to have, we do beer PG, and if we ever were to have like models, Long Chops was the inspiration for my character, Pork Chop Fontaine. And it's a wonderful model. It's kind of like if Stevie Ray Vaughan was a gator, it would be that particular model. All right, I got to get some silvers on this guy as I try to figure out how to hold this model without causing problems.
Just touching up a little bit of this. So I use two different contrast paints on my two yokai, which are these two Oni here, this guy.
Yep.
And this guy. Ooh, I use the Space Wolf Gray and the Griff Charger Gray.
Okay.
The Space Wolf Gray is a little more blue, and the Griff Charger Gray is a little more of this almost greenish tone, which I don't know which one I like better, but I figured they're close enough. What the hell? I don't need them to look exactly the same.
Exactly. That's the motto of this painting show could be "You be you."
Yeah, I mean, and happy accidents.
Yep, exactly.
I'd say sometimes you try something, you're like, oh, it didn't turn out right, but it looked good enough. Now we're doing something different.
Oh my God, why am I painting with my glasses on? Here, let's get those off.
I don't know. I have to with glasses on.
Okay. Well, I need to do the opposite because my eyes are old and no longer focus worth a crap.
I mean, are you talking to me?
Exactly. Well, I know. I understand, man.
Don't worry. I get a lot of use out of that joke at work, and my coworkers hate me.
Okay.
Like, Sean, you can't say that. I'm like, they're my eyes. I absolutely can say that. They don't bother me.
So I need a little bit more crotch cam here. If I'm not going to be like capable of holding things in frame, I got to get my crotch cam on.
Get your crotch cam on.
All right. So.
Oh, I'm gonna have quite a few pictures for you, John. It's gonna be a little surprising.
Well, I'm excited about it. I'm excited also to get the word out. I'll get the word out early and often on this one. Maybe we'll get some of the old reliables out from the depths of time to come back to the show a little bit and show off their wares.
Hey, Runler, don't ever be embarrassed by your paint job. As long as you gave it your all and you're happy with it, it don't matter. And the judges understand different painting styles and skill levels, and they'll be happy to give you actual constructive feedback. They're not going to be like, "Oh, that was crap. Why'd you even enter it?" Ain't no
Never.
judge ever said that. And if they do, you tell me. I will fly out there and I will punch that motherfucker in the face for you.
We got a falcon punch for that clown.
Yeah. No, I ain't never seen a judge do that. The ones they'll take the smallest kid's paint job that's just barely in the lines paint, and they'll give him some tips at his skill level to improve. That's what those guys are good for. So don't ever be. You showed up and you dropped the model off. How many people showed up to that show and did not?
Exactly. I was just going to make that point, and that's the whole thing. By just entering, you've already outdone like 75 to 90% of the field. So
Yeah,
live the dream. Do it.
absolutely.
All right. Can I?
No one ever won anything they didn't actually put in for. You know what I mean? They didn't compete. They didn't win. I mean, that's how it is.
It's the truth in a lot of things, except lotteries. Don't do lotteries. Lotteries are dumb, and lotteries are a tax on people who don't understand math.
Yeah, I only do it when like everyone at work's like, well, we're all putting in for the lottery together. I'm like, I'm putting in too because if you all win, you're going to leave, and I don't want to be the one stuck here.
You know what? That is a force multiplier also.
Yeah.
So
But it's like, granted, I would never actually just quit a job if I won the lottery. I would wait until they replaced me because I'm that kind of guy.
aw.
But as a joke, I don't want to be the one stuck behind working.
Remember that time you didn't join on the lottery? Ha 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 ha. Sort this mail.
I'm a little beyond sorting mail now.
No, but I mean
John,
they
me in
but
charge
since
of
the
people.
but the mail sorter left, so that somebody's got to sort it, and now you're the only one left. You're sorting mail.
When I get paid, John, I will sort all the mail.
There you go.
Ain't no pride in that. Ain't pride in you paying me a wage. You want me? It needs to get done. It gets done. That's why they love me at work because it needs to get done. It gets done.
I'm loving all the conversations. We got 10 people watching the show. Who knew?
That's awesome. Oh, Raybomb got a bunch of infernals. That's cool. I really want to see what they do with them overall. I don't look at the what the hell's it called? The playtest, whatever they call it.
CID?
CID, that's it. I don't really watch that anymore because I don't really have a horse in that race anymore.
I genuinely don't care, and I'm never going to ever play a competitive game of War Machine again. So
yeah. I actually have a hard time playing a competitive game of anything much anymore. It gets too much sometimes, you know?
I hear you.
I have a good time with my buddies.
Yeah, I do enjoy playing a competitive game of Keyforge, but
that's a much different beast there.
Yep. But I tell you that the group I play with are very chill, very good guys, except for one, and I have a little bit of a problem I've got to deal with at the game store with there. You know, it's a typical example of the socially awkward individual that is just they huddle over the top of the game going on and they're talking. It's all the nonsense from, bad
other game, yeah.
Yeah, bad what do they call etiquette from other games. And it's just gonna have a little talk with him next time he gets loose.
The funny thing is, we had to talk about this at GW Battle Bunker like more than a decade ago, so it's not like it's a new problem.
Oh no.
We had a thing where we're like, do we need to put out signs that tell people not to watch because we're actually competing? Like, no, just tell them to walk away. If they don't walk away, you grab one of other of us because we're a big gaming club, and we'll walk them away nicely.
Oh, I'm not afraid of this little guy.
Runler wants to know, have I been able to put Malifaux 3 on the table? Every Friday since it came out, at least. I am enjoying it. They definitely, podcast of positivity-wise, they actually definitely took ideas that are reminiscent of theme lists for War Machine of Hordes and did them in a different way that I like better.
Interesting.
Because models have keywords, and like these are all Oni, except for the Age of Sigmar guy. He's nothing. No offense, dude. And they're Oni, and if your leader is an Oni, you can buy them all at normal price.
Oh, okay.
Now, there are other models that are versatile, meaning they can go in multiple crews, like the Lone Swordsman. You pay normal cost for him, no matter what your keyword is. And then any other model that's in your faction, you can take at +1 cost. So if I want one of these crazy monk dudes here, doing the kicks, I can put him in the crew. He just costs 1 more point because he's not a keyword. And the keyword is not faction specific. Like if there is an Oni in any other faction, I can put it in my army at no extra cost.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very cool way of doing it. I've very much been digging it. I like pretty much every change they've done. No more random turn links. You know it's going to end in turn 5. All of the scenarios and strategies are slightly harder to score. You get less points during a game, but you go less turns, so it's more tense, and any one of those points is really helpful. It's still a big, you should be looking at, you got to keep your eye on the prize, looking at the victory conditions, and getting the points when you can. Like, if you had a choice between killing a model and getting some points, unless that model is really going to F you up for the rest of the game, you best get those points. Every time I've killed a model, instead of going for the points, I've been like, man, I should have gone for the points. Being said, I haven't lost a game yet.
There you go.
That's because the early games, and it's very much also another one where you want to play the same master for a while, because not only will you learn the rules, you'll learn their bullshit, because every master has their own bullshit.
Gotcha.
You can call it whatever you want. It's bullshit. But we all have it, so it's they have done a good job of balancing things. They actually scaled everything in the game down, which is a rare thing. Normally they ramp everything up to the highest point. They scaled everything down, all the high stuff down, some of the lower stuff a little bit up, and they got this nice middle ground where I have not seen a model yet that I'm like, I wouldn't play that ever. They're all like, I'd play that. You just got to, like I said, just got to figure out your BS, because I was playing Misaki, who is a terrible ninja bitch, and I was just murdering all the things that got in my way and doing everything because she's a terrible ninja bitch.
There you go.
I mean, sometimes murder is an easier an easier level of bullshit to get than anything else. Yeah, keywords are good. Get Riva. Riva's very cool. Misaki is a murder machine. I actually joked with Not Brushhead Dave, who's been playing this with me, and I'm like, it takes a while before you get to be a good, a non-support caster. He's like, I'm only this. I'm not a support caster. I'm like, if you're not a 7 attack, you're a support caster. Which he thought was funny, because 7's the highest it goes.
Okay, gotcha.
He's like, I got a 6. I'm like, no, you're a support caster. if you're in a 7, support caster. Oh. Which is funny, because Lady Justice, who is another one of the murder machines in the game, is only a 6. But she's a little more tanky than most. She's got some defensive bullshit.
She's been around since day one.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, she was one they had a sort of poll and thing they did that actually affected the game of who's going to die, her or I'm trying to remember the name. I don't remember the name of the undead summoning dude, Nicodem, but he's dead. Because they were like, who's going to win? Who's going to live? And it was like, everyone voted for Lady Justice, and I'm like, that's too bad. I really wanted to see her die and become undead. That'd be cool. I thought that would have been a much cooler, game thing than having her kill the undead dude. But, with all those things, it's half popularity contest, so it's all good.
Fair enough.
I just felt bad because now, actually, everyone who's dead, exiled, in jail, or whatever, you can't actually use in certain formats.
Wow.
Yeah, they have the basic tournament format is nothing from Dead Man's Hand is what they call it. So that's sort of how it is. You can't use Nicodem, you can't use Ramos, you can't use Lilith. It's like, oh shit. It's now they're still usable. They still have rules. You can play them in friendly games. Some tournaments you can play them, but it's. I felt really bad for a young lady I was playing with, Chloe, at the other store. They killed Nicodem, which is one of her 2 masters. The other one was Terra, who is no longer usable in Resurrectionist because they made her single faction again, back to just Outcasts.
So she lost.
So she went from 2 masters to none, and I'm like, I feel really bad for you, Chloe. It's terrible.
That's too bad. It's going to happen, though.
It has to at some point. It brings a good flavor, but it's not like they're gone forever. You've got the models. You can still use them. It's just certain tournaments you won't be able to. We don't all play tournaments all the time, and no one should play all tournaments all the time. That is not what the game is about. All right, let that dry. Sort of hodgepodge our way through these dudes.
So I mean, I think we have a theme for the show for next week. We're going to be, doing the Brushhead Gallery, return to the Brushhead Gallery. I think that we probably owe it to ourselves at some point to bring a little bit more structure back to the show. Some different topics, and I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about what we're going to talk about. Well, we used to have topics and things that we would talk about.
We got structure. We got a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Well, that's true. I mean, we brought back we did bring back the media section. That's structural. And
but no, I'm more joking than anything. You know me.
I know. I get it. And so yeah, we'll start thinking about some of those things.
I mean, hell, come on, we want structure on painting now. That's totally different. We've changed the entire game here.
That is a game changer. The show has structured gestures vaguely at the show. Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, the guy can dream, right?
Hey, it's all good, man. Figure out what you want. It's all good. Topics, right now we're still just enjoying the ride again.
Yep, being back in the saddle, if you will. And we'll be back next week, by the way. I am in town, so that means Wednesday night is Belinda's night with her mom. And so rather than sit and spend time with my children, here I am with you guys.
Wait, so are you saying, since it's Wednesday, you can't get a date again, so it's time for Painting with John?
It seems like that would be an appropriate reason to be painting with Men Off John. It might be how it all began for those of you who
That's
were
amusing and appropriate all at the same time.
Yep.
I approve.
So Belinda's got a new cat, which brings the total number of cats at the Mother of Cat house back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's getting a little much.
It's a lot of cats.
That's a lot of cats.
But it's a really nice cat. So the cat introduced itself and walked into the door as it is wont to do. And it was clear this cat was not a true hobo cat. It was just somebody's pet that got loose, and it's not chipped. Chip your cats, chip your dogs, please, people. I mean,
chip your pets. You love them. Don't lose them.
Spend $1 or whatever it is, $15, $18, whatever it is. They love you unconditionally. Give them a little love back because they will miss you. And this cat is named Mocha now. And Mocha the cat is knocked up.
As happens to a lot of cats that get outside for a while.
Yep. So the Mocha the cat is going to have kittens. The kitten is going to be adopted out to Kindred Kitties, which is a rescue. But Mocha has found a home at Casa del Bell.
Did I tell you about Creekins, the ex-roomie's new baby rat she got?
No, you did not tell me about the new baby rat.
She got two new baby rats. I don't have the heart to ask her what happened to Smooth and Perseus. Rats don't live that long, unfortunately.
Oh.
But they're super cute. And their names are Toast Points, or Toast for short, because they sort of that color.
Mm-hmm.
And Ratwise Hamg.
Oh, so it's gay.
I don't know, but they're both super cute. People will balk at pet rats, but remember, they're nothing like the rats you hear about from the cities or see in the cities. They're completely different. They are super awesome. They are smarter than you think. I mean, they're smarter than a certain person in office.
Are they smarter than the average bear?
They are smarter than your average bear.
There you go.
And they're definitely smarter than your average picnic basket.
A picnic basket.
That's it. Worker was like, what? I'm like, smarter than your average picnic basket.
That's right.
Like, how smart are picnic baskets? I'm like, I don't know. You ask one?
Exactly.
Yeah, Runler knows. Loves rats. They're great. They are great pets. Smart. I mean, if you get them from when they're babies, they pretty much do what you said. They're not afraid of people. It's great. All right, better when I don't try to breathe it.
I am not pleased with what's going on this bear.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just... I don't know. Feels like when I dry brushed it, or I should say when I zenithal shaded it, I may have half-assed it a little bit.
Oh.
I probably should have come back and re-sketched it up, and I don't know if I don't remember if I did or didn't, and the way things are going with this, it looks like I didn't. So...
Well, do a pure white on it before you leave them for dead, so to speak.
Yeah.
Sometimes that last step, you know, that was always my big deal. That last step, and suddenly, like, boom, things are popping a little better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a ton of work to do. This is the dark tea time of the soul for a model. You know, you're just blocking in colors and everything looks flat and horrible, and
you're like, oh god, I fucked this model up again.
And let's be honest, this is 2 bears of a hooch hauler, and that means that there's a lot left to do. But we're gonna not do the hooch hauler right away. I've got to do a base for a Colossal for Retribution that I can't remember what the name of the model is anymore. It's not Hyperion, it's the other one.
Okay, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
Helios.
Yeah. Helios. Yeah, I got to do a base for Helios.
Yay, I remember something.
And then I think I want to do Sevi Zero because I've got Sevi Zero to do. And then I'll come back to this guy.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take a break. Like, I'm gonna take a break from these guys and assemble some dudes because I've got all my bases in now. Since I use resin bases for all of my Malifaux models, I got them in, so I can put together some dudes. And then I'm gonna come back and paint some more Malifaux, I think.
There you go.
I'm gonna try and do it by by keyword, get just about everything, or in this case, I grabbed everything I had primed for this keyword and started working on it. Because I got these guys second hands, they already primed. They were primed white, which is, I will say often, a mistake.
Yep.
But someone else made the mistake, and I'm just working with it. And, hey, you know, it's doing pretty good. I feel like they're looking fine. I mean, they're looking fine. I'm pleased, and that's what matters, right?
Absolutely, man. So when you don't use dropper bottles of paint for a long time, they become solid.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
Yeah, it's...
To be fair, though, I threw out, like, a couple dozen paints of old GWs and shit that aren't dropper bottles to begin with, so...
Yeah.
And I have some more.
Now I got gray paint all over the blue glove of love, which is not awesome. I think I might have to throw away this blue glove of love and get a new one, because when you get paint all over your blue glove of love, that is no longer safe painting.
Yeah. Probably not the best idea when you get too much on it.
So let me get a new one here.
No matter what, you don't want it to look like my paint palette.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I have a wet palette that I haven't broken out again. I need to at some point, but...
Because I sit here trying to dry off my hands because I got hot, sweaty glove hand now. This ought to be...
Sweaty glove hand would make a great punk rock band.
So I need to... Now this is going to be super relaxing, putting my hot, sweaty glove hand into a new glove. This ought to be really super fun.
It just sounds dirtier and dirtier the more you say it.
My hot, sweaty glove hand is fitting in real tight.
Yep, that's getting worse.
Oh God, I can't. No, my fingers won't go in.
Apparently, we're not doing phrasing at all.
I'm not phrasing. Jesus, look at this. This is disgusting. I've got broken fingers. Oh, God. You know, sometimes you think you can stick it in and it just won't go in.
Those are all true statements.
Yep. So, remember, folks, if you're gonna stick your hand in something, make sure it'll fit. Make sure it's you know, you can make sure it's dry, but that doesn't sound like a good idea either.
I mean, you need a little bit of lubrication, right? Otherwise, it's going to just squeak a little bit as you're putting it on and just be really uncomfortable.
Weak, 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 weak.
Wiki, wiki, wiki.
Mm-hmm. Jam on it. Jam on it. All right, so what I'm attempting to do is make a little bit of a gray wash to put on the collars because I have like stone. The collars on these bears are made out of stone because trolls, and man, the glove hand just does not want to agree right now. Doesn't matter how dry I get it; it's just like, F you. You had your chance tonight.
I can't even add anything to that to make it funnier.
Oh my God! There, it blew it up like a balloon. Let's see if that. Ah, God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Putting on a Glove with Menoth John. This is just the worst. I'm about ready to. Honest to God.
Good solid entertainment here. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I mean, people pay for this normally.
You know, make sure you're donating to the show that puts gloves on. I mean, honest to God, this is as far as.
You need to get the right size before you wrap it up, John.
It works. I mean, these are usually the right size. One size fits many, unless your hand's slightly damp, in which I'll play. One size fits most. I thought I said one size fits moist.
It's an honest mistake.
I'm not wearing my gloves, so welcome to this.
Welcome to Off the Rails,
the struggle bus with Menoth John. Oh God, this is just the worst. I remember when I painted one time on the show. Jesus. Guys, I don't know that any more painting's happening tonight because the blue glove of love is just not okay.
I'm having a hard time just because it's hilarious.
Oh God, now it's my glove is queefing. That's awesome.
Phrases you did not expect to hear tonight. Glove is queefing.
Queefing, yes. I am having glove queefing.
You're making Rave Bomb snort while he's trying to do detail work.
Come on. God. So this is welcome to hour 20 of Putting on a Glove with Menoth John. Remember the all-day show when I put a glove on? That's kind of what we're down to here. Oh, God. The struggle is real. Okay, I think all the fingers are now fully inserted.
Oh.
I think if I blow on it one more time, it'll be perfect.
I'm just upset that Bania is not here to hear all this. This is Bad Innuendo is his favorite.
Oh, this is one of the best shows ever. I sure am glad that some of the people at Starbucks have actually gotten the address for this. I'm sure this won't end my career.
I am really glad my boss does not know about this podcast.
Yep. All right, well, there we go, folks. I'm back in the saddle, and we're applying a little bit of wash to this to make it look a little more stone-like. And I may have put a little bit too much pigment on this, and we'll see. Well, we can fix it, though. We can fix it. We have the technology.
I'm trying to paint in the camera, guys, but I'm doing details, and sometimes you need to just... I told John when I started painting, like, you know, on a camera, I'm like, I respect what you did for all those years so much more now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's not easy. There's a reason why you end up with a 200 millimeter base on your crotch sometimes.
I'm not worried about that. Everyone wants to see my crotch.
This episode.
I'm just trying to paint this without effing anything up because if there's one real big problem with Citadel contrast paints, if you have to go back over them, it's a pain.
Oh, it's not so bueno, huh?
Yeah, well, because you got to go back over them. I mean, think about that. That means that you have to see, I just did all that. keep a brush around to get some of that off. You water it down a little bit. Because then you have to, like, if you can get most of it off, like I did this there, you'd be okay. Maybe just a little,
I suppose.
that would do well, but it just immediately becomes a problem. So I tried to paint everything that wasn't going to be contrast first, but then I ended up with these handles for their weapons ended up being too dark.
Fair enough.
So I needed to lighten them up, so I'm getting another brown in here, but
so
with my eyes, sometimes I just miss.
Oh, I hear you, man. I can't see worth a Tinker's Dam anymore.
It's the depth perception gets me sometimes. I think I'm there and I'm not, and I'm like, well, shit. But
so I went through all of that just to put some goddamn stone paint on this thing, and I'm done with it, because that's all there is to it. It's like 4 little rune things and some stone neck deal.
Hey, you're still gonna paint more. It's not like it's all you did.
Oh no.
You're good. It's all good, man.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We're doing fine. This is fine.
We're all fine here. How are you?
All right, so we've got all of this on there. I think I see a few little silvery things I need to put a little love on before we can start continuing to. It looks like I got a little bit of touch up to do on the where the silver meets the gold. Silver and gold, silver and gold. That's my favorite. I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
All right, that's a lot better. That lighter brown, that guncore brown instead of leather or dark brown looks a lot better for his weapon halves. It stands out a little better.
Heck
That's
yeah.
important. This guy's almost done, honestly. I need to wash the base, do some touch-ups on it first, do a little bit of work on his weapons, a little highlighting. I don't even have to do much else, honestly.
So I'd like to see in the chat room. I'd like to see, should I paint Sevi Zero next, or should I paint the base for Helios? Which do people want to see me painting next? Because they're very different techniques. I mean, one is going to be a more traditional painting of a model, and the other one's going to be, painting up a base and making sure that it's going to have water effects and stuff like that involved in it. So if people want to see that, they should, register your vote. Helios, but I'm biased. Well, thank you, Rave Bomb. Nobody saw that coming.
But no one, he means everyone.
But that's fine. Rave Bomb is one of the OG brush heads, and so, his
Rave Bomb saying his love for Retribution is fine. Sort of like Congo saying his love for Kador.
Only if the base is painted on crotch cam. That's great. Best fans in the universe.
Hey, look, at least I'm not asking you to put your underwear on your head again.
I'd do it for the right donation.
That's right. We're not too proud.
Ain't too proud to beg.
All right, so this little guy needs some. I don't know what it is in the back.
I don't know. It's coming along, I guess.
Hey, John, what color do you paint rope? It's actually a serious question.
Okay, that was a serious question? Okay.
Yeah, he's got this rope bit back here on his back.
I'm a fan of the Hammerfall khaki, to be honest, or the Rucksack tan. Either one of those work really pretty good. And then you hit it with a little bit of the Magic Agrax.
You got it.
And it works out just super slick. And then what you can do is, if you want to, if you're feeling, if you're feeling the love, what you can do is come back with a, even something as high as that's sulfuric yellow. How the hell did I have sulfuric yellow out? That's why my damn barrel looks like trash. Rucksack tan is what it's supposed to be base colored with. You can then, that P3 highlight thing, just kind of grab a little highlight, and then you just pick up the little tops of the rope, and that makes it look a lot better. God, no wonder the damn barrel looked like garbage. The hell?
I've done that too. I'll actually show you when I send some painted models to you, because I have some where I started a certain color, then went away time without painting, and went back, and I'm like, I Why is it not looking? Oh crap! I totally used the wrong color. Well, I guess they're that color now.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna give this. I can paint over the top of this and fix it, and it'll be fine. I mean, sulfuric yellow, it just does nothing but give the. It gives the not that Rucksack Tan necessarily needs it, but it gives it a little bit of opacity. It'll be fine. This is fine.
Thinking about painting his horns like a really dark blue.
Oh, I like that idea. On that kind of orangey body, I like that. I think that's a very good idea. I give that no shots of Kraken. It's such a good idea.
Well, let me start finding some. I'll start finding some dark blue. It's probably not a tonight thing, but at least I know where I'm going with him.
Don't forget, folks. In 15 minutes, we're going to open up the floor to the media section, and ladies and gentlemen, of all the segments that represent the structure, just I'm calling back to structure on this one, of Painting with Menoth John. The media section is one of them.
It is.
So don't forget to stay tuned. Put the kids to bed if you have to. And make some popcorn.
Doing that realistically, not like in the way Cormac puts the kids to bed.
No. Cormac put the kids to bed euphemistically, and we don't want that.
Is that a real word? I don't care. That's a good word. I like that.
Yeah, I just made it a word. The words do exactly what I tell them to.
I'm down. You're a poet laureate, man.
So that the words do what I tell them to is from MC Frontalot, a nerdcore rapper.
My favorite kind of rapper.
Yeah, they are awesome. I haven't listened to a lot of MC Frontalot recently. I should do that. Once again, I do listen to more Rage Against the Machine and Prophets of Rage than I listen to nerdcore, but that's only because of who we have in the office right now.
Yeah, when the world looks like it's going to hell, you're like, you guys are a bit more prophetic than I like.
So, do you want me to really put my tinfoil hat on for a second and a half?
Sure, why not? Here's a Menoth John's tinfoil hat moment.
Tinfoil hat of the night brought to you by the Orange Orangutan in the presidency. I am going to Canada on November 2nd after voting. I am going to. I've decided that I'm going to have my car fully fueled, and I'm going to have it ready to go. And Belinda and I are going to vote, and we are going to have a room ready for me and the kids, and we're going to go to Canada because I'm pretty sure this guy's not giving up the seat, even if he loses. And that, to me, sounds like the recipe for a civil war.
Well, that seems like the final straw in a civil war. I'll be honest, the recipe you can look at them over the past several years.
Yeah.
And it's sad, unfortunately.
It really
we're better
is.
than this. We really are.
I agree.
You can't let them brag us down.
So, probably heading, pretty much due north out of Wisconsin, and gonna find myself a resort in Winnipeg or something like that, and find some place to stay.
I'll be honest, John. It'll be one of those few moments that I'm happy that I own a firearm.
Yeah. Thought about that. I've thought about getting a firearm ahead of the election just in case. Because
I mean, it's one of those things. I don't own like any one that anyone's going to do anything stupid with. It's a World War I era battle rifle. For fuck's sake! It was designed in the late 1800s.
No, I hear you.
But it's like it'll do home defense. It'll do hunting. It is literally sort of like why you would buy a firearm casually as recreational.
I like shooting like targets and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I literally do not ever want to have to pull the trigger with something living on the other end. Even hunting is not necessarily what I want to do. I can do that. I don't want to.
My whole thing is
I swerve to avoid animals crossing the road.
Oh, as do I. I mean, I like to shoot targets.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been able to bring myself to want to like skin an animal and to field dress it and whatnot, which to me I think disqualifies me from hunting.
Yeah, if you're going to hunt, you have to use the animal, or at least be, having a direct plan of animal getting used.
But
If you know somebody who's going to butcher it, or you're going to pay some guy to butcher it for you, at least you're using it for what it should be used for. You're eating it and all that stuff. Then you're like, okay, cool. You're hunting. You're at least using it. You're not just hunting it and like, I killed something. I'm awesome.
Can we talk about Jimmy John's for a second?
Sure. What's up with Jimmy John's?
So the owner for Jimmy John's is a big game hunter.
Oh, boy.
And loves to have his pictures taken in front of animals what he has ended. And they're things like elephants and things you don't eat necessarily. And I'm like, and he's got, he's the big macho standing in front of things. No. Once upon a time I liked Jimmy John's sandwiches. I think they offer a different alternative to Subway. And until they changed the hot pepper mix to what it currently is, their Italian was a damn good sandwich. I won't eat that garbage.
So you're saying they're in the book with Chick-fil-A now?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
So we've had a lot of hype about the Popeyes chicken sandwich around here.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will point out, funny enough, I've had like a dozen of them because I started eating them as soon as they were on the menu, because I'm like, oh, cool, chicken sandwich. I don't go to Chick-fil-A anymore because fuck Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly.
And now everyone's like, must have it. And I'm like, okay. And my favorite tweet is the guy on Saturday tweeted like, all right, that's it. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to both restaurants, get a sandwich, and I'm going to decide which one's best. And everyone's like, Chick-fil-A's closed tomorrow. And he's like, well, I guess they don't have the best chicken sandwich, do they?
Love it.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. And it's really terrible because honestly, Chick-fil-A hires good people. They get Sunday off, which is great for family. It's just they wouldn't be assholes the rest of the way.
Yep. Same thing with
Stop hating on my friends.
Same with Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby. Stop hating on my friends.
Yep. We'll never shop there.
It's like the other one. Like, what chicken sandwich is the best? The one where the owners don't have a problem with who my friends are.
I'm also at war with Hilton. And because of their supporting of Laura Ingraham and the hate speech that falls out of her pie hole.
No.
And so I'm kind of done with all that stuff. So,
fair enough.
And I was platinum or diamond with them. And so I actually reached out to them and said, listen, you take a look at my membership and take a look at how many nights I stay with you. I am loyal to you. This is not okay. And I never heard back from them. Not even an email.
Not even like, oh, sorry, you feel that way, sir.
Yep.
And then whatever prepackaged response they have.
Right. Nothing even like that. And I was like, okay.
Let me give you a hint as a customer service manager. When someone's actually upset, never use a prepackaged response. If you want to keep them, write that shit. Paraphrase what it is. Those little touches will show the customer you fucking care. Even if the big company doesn't care, you care as a customer service professional working for that company, wanting to keep that person's business. And it means a hell of a lot.
Yep. And so I've stayed exclusively at Marriott's now.
Hey. It's what we got to do. It's part of what we can do. We can't do a lot in this world, but do what we can.
No, and I mean, if you want to hit somebody where these idiots really care, hit them in their pocketbook.
Yep.
It's literally the only thing they care about.
It is literally the only thing I care about. Absolutely.
So.
She said Agrek, so I need to.
So this is pretty cool. I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with kind of where this is headed, and we're closing in on the media section, and I've been painting now for a solid hour plus, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm gonna
one or two more washes, and then I'm gonna call it a night too.
And at least 50% of that time was spent putting this goddamn blue glove on.
I mean, sacrifices must be made.
I'm glad it made, and I'm glad it entertained the peoples, which is actually all this is about: entertainment and getting people to donate. Please, folks, even if it's $1, if you could hit the button and donate $1, I would appreciate it. We haven't.
Or buy a shirt, or buy a hoodie, or buy
Yeah.
something out of the swag shop. That makes a difference too. If you're one of those guys who wants to get something out of it,
Right.
it helps there too.
The and I don't know. I think the design this year is pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. And remember, we're doing this. We're doing this for free. We don't take anything. I don't get paid anything. John don't get paid nothing.
No.
We're doing this because we love it. It's a good hobby, and it's for a damn good cause.
Yep.
And if I wasn't, in a weird place, time off wise, and all that, I'd be coming out to John Con again to support it in person.
Yep. And we would appreciate that. And that's a preview of what I'm going to talk about in the media section. What I just said there, and that's what I appreciate about that. So, there you go. So Crimson says, if the Jimmy John's guy wants to be a real tough guy, shouldn't he give the elephant a gun? Yes. Yes. Also, Crimson, good to hear that you're single. You and me, baby. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transition this over to the face cam so y'all can see my face while I drink this whiskey right here.
I will in 1 second. I just got to take a picture for the old hobby streak.
Good deal. Folks, if you're streaking, it should be a hobby streak. And because nobody wants to see your naked body. They really don't. Depending on who's listening to this, that may or may not be true. They don't want to see my naked body.
They don't want to see my naked body.
We're excited about the next segment here. As you know, folks, the media section has been talked about in places that sell the New York Times and places that sell the Washington Post. And it has been mentioned using the same vocal cords that have said words like amazing and breathtaking. So I'm not lying. These are all things that are true. So I'd like to have so I was reading this to I was reading some of these to Rich tonight while I was playing Crossout. If you're not, you say what you want about CNN, okay? Say what you want. There is one of their opinion makers. It's not hard news. He's one of their analysts, so you know where that's coming from right off the get-go, okay? But this guy's funny. His name is Chris Cillizza. And Chris Cillizza, basically what he does is takes our fearless leaders' speeches and parses them such that he takes, in this case, the 39 most ridiculous things said at the G7 press conference by our fearless leader. And I would like to take this opportunity before we get into the media section, John, to read some of these. Wouldn't that be great?
Sounds awesome.
So this is number 20. And I start at number 20 because I think it's indicative of where we're heading for. Now, it's a very big area, a very important area. Russia has its submarine. That's where they do their submarine work. And that's where they dock large and powerful submarines. He's talking, of course, of the Crimea.
My geography's hazy, but what?
Yeah. So, but Russia has its submarine, singular. I thought they had more than that. I mean, they had the Red October, but that got, we got that now. So, but he did go on to clarify his statements, but not as powerful as ours and not as large as ours, but they have their submarines.
Yeah, so apparently not as easy as I thought, because that's the one on the Black Sea, and that's not a good place for submarines.
Well, that's where they do their submarine things.
Is it?
I guess.
Hey, Google Satellite View, do you agree?
This is number 28. I don't want to do business. Forget about tariffs for a second. We're talking in tremendous amounts of money. Forget that. I don't want to do business. I believe that the President of the United States casually floats the idea of the United States ending all business relationships in China.
Didn't he go one further and actually order people to find? People.
Did. Forthwith.
Suppliers and all?
Forthwith. Ordered. And then we'll just pick one more here, because I think this is indicative of how this guy thinks. I love the UK. I own great property in the UK. I love the UK. I have no idea how my property is doing because I don't care. But I own Turnberry, and I own Aberdeen, and I own Ireland, as you know, Doonbeg, and great stuff. There is a coherent thought in there, but I'm not sure where.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and lastly, France is a great nation. It's being run. A lot of things are happening. It's being run.
I mean, that is a true statement.
It is.
That may have been the truest thing he said, that France is a great country, it's being run, and a lot of things are happening. That is all true.
Okay, I'm sorry. This has to be the last one. I guess you would start off by saying England, right? You know, I asked Boris, where's England? What's happening with England? They don't use it too much anymore. So he's concerned that England is not used to describe the United Kingdom because it's not the fucking name of the country.
Hey, vey.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the media section. Everything that you are about to hear John talk about is more encouraging than what I have just stated.
Well, so we're going to start where we left off. Well, not exactly where we left off. We left off with Too Fast, Too Furious with the 90th of 90 titles.
Right, but we are going to bypass those Furious movies who shall not be named.
Well, we're going to bypass it because chronologically it doesn't happen yet. Now you're like, what? Yes. The third movie doesn't happen yet. It happens in the future. So we go to the fourth movie called Fast and Furious.
Wait, so they dropped the and made a new title?
Dropped the thes and made it a movie title. It is a direct sequel to The Fast and the Furious. In fact, the second movie could have not happened, and it wouldn't affect this movie at all.
Interesting. Now, does that make the second movie not canon?
More on that later.
Okay, very good. I didn't want to have a spoiler. I apologize.
So this, literally, like I said, is a direct sequel to The Fast and the Furious, and involves some of the same core characters, being Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and then Jordana Brewster, who plays Vin Diesel's sister,
okay,
Mia, and then a bunch of other characters, most of whom aren't in other movies, with the exception of 12 Seconds of Michelle Rodriguez.
Gotcha. Who
is acting so much better than she did in the first movie, it defies description. She was all scowls and frowns, and now she's smiling, showing charisma. She is showing why she became a movie star in this, because she's showing she can bring something.
Cool.
It starts off, and like most of these movies, it starts off with some action. They're in the Dominican Republic, I think, stealing gas from this truck pulling like 3 trailers worth of glass, or something like 6 trailers worth of gas. And they're stealing that. And of course, they have an action scene when he finds out, and he starts shooting at him with his pistol. And the truck ends up getting out of control down a hill towards a ravine. And Letty, who's Michelle Rodriguez's character, is stuck on top. They get her off, and then he powers past it, and then it's coming towards him, and it's starting to flip and roll. So he just guns it towards it, and it like just clips the top of it and goes over and explodes in fire. So if you're okay with that scene, you may continue through the rest of the movie. That is as crazy as this movie gets.
If that level of physics leaving the building is within, you've probably gotten your pass for the rest of the series, haven't you?
Oh no.
No.
I mean, this movie actually goes, yeah. Me and physics, we fine. We good. So, we broke up, but we're still fine. We're still friends.
Okay, we're still seeing other people though.
We're still seeing other people, but we're still friends. So the whole idea is, there's too much heat, so Dom's going to leave Letty and draw them off because he doesn't want her to get caught too. And then the plot goes that Shin's getting killed. His sister calls him back to the U.S. and Brian, who's Paul Walker's character, is now an FBI agent, which he was trying to be early on.
Okay.
And he's hunting the same people who went after Letty, and they get back together. They get in with the bad guys to try and get vengeance. They get double-crossed by the bad guys, as they always do. It's easier to find drivers, drive them over to Mexico, get them through, and then kill them all at the end rather than actually paying them money.
Sure.
I'm not sure how that actually works.
You'd think the word would get out.
You'd think the word would get out. We ain't seen any of those drivers work with them before.
But boy, the money's good.
But Dom and Brian get out, and then they're sort of rebuilding their respect and friendship for each other. So the actual background story of this is actually solid. The acting's solid. It's not great, but it's all solid and it's enjoyable. They have a good camaraderie. You get the proper feelings from them, and it turns out that Letty was working for Brian to try and make it all right so Dom can come back to the U.S. So she was trading, bringing in this guy for his freedom, but then it just keeps going, and keep going after this guy, and eventually get vengeance on him. I'm not going to spoil the end of the movie. They get vengeance, capture the guy who's captured, kill the bad guy who killed Letty, and a bunch of solid, but none of them groundbreaking or tentpole action scenes. They're all really solid, but none of them are like that tentpole action scene. They haven't quite become the blockbuster. And at the end of it, even though Dom turns himself in, he's like, I'm not running anymore. And the judge says, even though you helped us bring in this really horrible criminal, we're still going to sentence you to the maximum sentence, which is like 25 to life with no chance of parole. I'm like, wow, for stealing DVD players and shit, that's pretty hardcore.
Yes, it is.
No, that's all he did in the first movie was steal DVD players and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. At the end, you see Brian and Mia, who's Dom's sister, and then two other guys who were working with Dom in the DR, surround the prison bus, taking him to prison, and that's where the movie ends.
Okay.
On to the second movie I saw, which is Fast 5, which is the next movie in. They didn't need furious in this. They're just fast in this one. They're not furious.
Okay.
Wait for 7. They're furious in 7. That's different.
Got.
This starts where the last one ended.
Okay.
And how they get Dom out of the bus is Mia speeds ahead in her little Honda thing, spins around, comes towards the truck, sort of chickens with it, and it starts swerving, and it's all off balance. So Brian's in front of it in the American Challenger muscle car, which is, American muscle.
Yeah, of course.
He hits the brake. The bus ends up hitting the edge of his car and flipping over it and tumbling.
That's right, because Challengers are way, way, way more than a bus does. Because physics.
Absolutely, that's how physics works.
Because physics.
No. So this is the movie where they've totally broken up. They're not seeing each other anymore. They're just hate fucking everyone else.
Well, there you go.
But again, if you get through that scene, you're like, yeah, I'm okay with that. You're fine for the movie.
So it seems like if you get past the first bit, you're probably solid for the rest of the show.
Especially they would have said, all right, in this daring, daylight escape, there were no fatalities. I'm like, okay, that bus tumbled like a dozen times. No fatalities. I'm sure that happened.
Because there was nobody on it.
Oh, no, there was a bunch of people.
Oh.
They show it, but only Dom escaped, of course.
Well, of course.
So they end up going to Brazil and getting a job. And in their first tentpole action stunt, they're stealing cars off a train because they need money.
Okay.
And then they're in there, and Dom's like, you made a terrible call. Should have waited for me. And Brian's like, we needed money, whatever. And the bad guys are being, and I'll say bad guys because it's pretty apparent they're bad guys, too weird about one of these cars. So Dom has his sister drive it out. And like, they're all going to the same place. It's all good. And then he's getting this weird vibe. So he tells her basically to run with the car. Mm-hmm. And the bad guys try and kill him. And, man, everything gets messed up. They get this truck they're using to pull the cars off and launch them down a ramps where like this weird winch it over from the train and then dump it off like a tow truck, like a flatbed.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. But then Brian's stuck on that. It's stuck on the side of the train with the driver dead. And they can't get out. And they're getting to a bridge.
Uh-oh.
So Dom drives the other car out, which is like, I forget what car it is, but some silver car out. Brian's jumping on the back, and they get off before the bridge, so rips the back of the whole truck off the side. And then, it's a bridge over a big ravine, so they go over the edge and jump off the car in this cool, it's like Triple X's action scene, just without the parachutes.
Got it. Wait.
But they land in water, of course, so they're okay.
Wait, they went off a bridge that's like probably hundreds of feet.
Remember the bus?
Yeah. Physics.
Yeah, this is more believable than the bus.
No, the fit. Oh, wait, now at this point, physics and this
Oh, yeah.
movie no longer are even friends.
Oh, just wait. So, in this, a couple DEA agents get killed by the bad guys, and they blame it on Dom and his crew. So they send the best after them, which is The Rock as Luke Hobbs and his elite team of DSS agents who go to Brazil and are like, you know, and the guy's like, hey, what can we do to help you? He's like, first, I need a patrol officer who's for the translator. He picks one out because she's a rookie and he knows she can be trusted. And the second thing, stay the fuck out of my way. Because The Rock is all back jacked up. He's not that. I mean, I love The Rundown, but he's not quite fully jacked for that movie. He is fully jacked for this movie.
Okay.
And so they decide the only way they're going to get away, because now Mia's pregnant and they don't want to break up their family. Drink every time you hear family, by the way. That they're going to steal all this money, because they figure out this car that they stole has got a chip in its system that tells them where all this bad guy's safe houses are with his money.
They have a chip that has that.
Yeah, it's a chip in their like guidance in the if you want the GPS thing in the car.
Fair enough.
So they're going to steal all the money, and they're like, how do you steal all the money? They're like, well, we need a crew. You know, when they say they need a crew, you're getting some Ocean's 11 shit, and boy, do you get some Ocean's 11 shit. They bring back everyone from all the other movies.
Cool.
The two other guys who were down in the DR with Dom show up. Sun Kang, who's playing a Han, who was in both 3, 4 seconds in Fast and Furious 4, shows back up. They get what's her name? Gal Gadot, who's in 4 also, who's working for the bad guys, but Dom saved her life, so she's friendly towards him. They get her in because she's a badass. They get both the guys, Roman and Tej from Fast and Furious 2 for Too Furious in, and they get a whole crew, each with different specialties that they may or may not have had at the time they were originally around, but it's okay. And it just becomes pure Ocean's 11.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. I'll be honest, this movie is fucking great. Like, as long as you're okay with the lack of physics.
Yep.
Because lack of physics. And there are 2 more scenes I want to talk about, and then I'll give you ratings for both movies. The first is the best acting in this entire film franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where Dom and Hobbs, The Rock and Vin Diesel, fight. And they act like that shit wouldn't take 2 seconds to solve. They act like Vin Diesel actually is in the fight with The Rock. Which would not have ever happened. But it's enjoyable in an action movie sense. You know, Dom's the tough guy, so of course he can fight, and Hobbs is just fucking made of pure muscle.
Yeah.
And it's cool, and they end up teaming up, and I'm not going to say exactly how they end up teaming up, but they end up teaming up because you got to. It's like superheroes things. Yeah, they'll fight at first, but they got to team up at the end.
Sure.
So the result is the bad guys put all his money in the local police station because they're all corrupt cops. They save so much as they've got every cop on our payroll here today to help defend it. It'll make you feel better for this ending, where Hobbs goes through and like clears everything with his giant, you know, armored vehicle that he calls a truck that he could put, you know, just drives through everything. Mm-hmm. Drives through the wall where the fucking safe is. They pull up in their 2 stolen police chargers that are all souped up now, and they just attach cables to this vault, and they pull the fucking vault out of that police station.
Sure they do.
And they drive that shit through Rio. And that vault says, fuck you to everything in its way. Those wires say, fuck you to everything in their way. What are you, a tree? No, fuck you, you're dead. Everything. It is pure carnage. It is 0 physics, and it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Not going to spoil the ending, but very enjoyable ending. And then they have a post-credit scene, a sort of mid-credit stinger, where they show off, is someone who was dead now alive again? Possibly? Mm-hmm. So, for ratings, Fast and Furious is good. It's a good sequel to the first one. If you like these characters and like their story, it's going to resonate with you more. It does good things, but it's not a blockbuster yet. It's still just an action movie with a better than average sort of story to it. And I give it, like, you know, somewhere between a shot and a half and 2 shots of Kraken. It is a good, enjoyable movie. But if you're looking for a movie to put on in the background and just enjoy the fuck out of it, it is Fast Five. That movie is a hoot from beginning to end. Like, as long as you're not a stickler for physics, you're going to enjoy the crap out of it. I have to give it 0 shots of Kraken.
Wow, there you go,
It
folks.
sets its rules, it knows what it is, and it just delivers.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's fantastic.
And next week, Fast and Furious 6.
There you go. Well, folks, I brought a selection to you, and this is on Hulu. So I apologize if you don't have Hulu. But
You will soon.
there is it's also available somewhat on YouTube as a short web series, and on YouTube it's called Letterkenny Problems, and on Hulu it's just Letterkenny. And Letterkenny takes place in a small Canadian town in Ontario, and it basically talks about the main characters are 3 hicks, basically farm boys from Letterkenny, and there are a couple of hockey players. There are a group of a half a dozen what they call skids, which are basically like goth burnout drug heads, and a gay preacher, and it's a group of indigenous people who are living on a reservation. And from what I have been told by people who are from Canada, this is exactly what a town like that is like. And it is hilarious. The whole deal on the show is that they have a very rapid fire kind of delivery, and they use a ton of Canadian slang. And the first time I've watched the series now twice, the whole series twice, and they use a lot of. The first time through, I had to watch it with subtitles in order to keep up with their delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And they're speaking straight up as good English as anybody else. And I really struggled with it. But it is... what's really good about it is I love comedies that have a great payoff. If you watch the British version of The Office, which was the original Office. The original Office was I believe it was 12 episode seasons and a special at the end of it. And the British Office was originally done by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. And the first season's pretty funny. The second season is like watching a car crash in slow motion as the main character who runs this office kind of piles in. But the series finale is a huge redemption story, which is I just love. And Letterkenny has this in its arc. Letterkenny is 6 seasons long, and at the end of each season, I think starting with season 2 or 3, they have a special that is holiday themed, and they're all fantastic. Every season is like 6 or 7 episodes long. So it's really great because it's in bite-sized pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to marathon 1 billion episodes to watch Letterkenny. And it's coming back. They got a 7th series, and it's coming back this fall. So on YouTube, Letterkenny Problems. It's the web series that launched the thing, and you will get more quotable lines out of this show. I use lines like, pump the brakes there, big shoots, or take it down 25% there, Super Chief. And you will use these in your regular life as a part of it. And that's what I appreciate about you, John Spencer. And the correct answer to that is that really what you appreciates about me?
Okay.
And I highly recommend watching it. It's a great show. Letterkenny Problems on the Hulus. Now, Hulu is owned by Disney? No.
It's owned in majority, I think, by Disney now after the Fox merger.
Okay. I wonder if they're going to make the leap over to Disney Plus, or are they going to be standalone?
They're going to be standalone, but from what I understand, there's going to be a package for them together at a cheaper price, which is impressive because Disney Plus is already going to be the best price.
Right. Ravebot mentions that Letterkenny is also on Crave in Canada. Crave doesn't exist in the States, I don't think. Letterkenny was originally produced by Crave, and then Hulu bought it from Crave. So season 7, everybody's coming back from what I understand. So it'll be great. Squirrely Dan, the whole 9 yards. So it hardly exists in Canada. Good point.
So when you actually get your Hulu from your package with Disney Plus, you can watch Letterkenny in addition to The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and by the way, The Mandalorian looks pretty damn badass.
But you had that, then you got to get the new Rise of Skywalker trailer, which I thought was very cool.
I haven't watched that trailer yet, but I am the trailer for The Mandalorian is like, okay. I can watch this.
John, we weren't podcasting for me to hear your thoughts on The Last Jedi.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought it was actually quite good. It had a lot of character development. I think the real problem was it wasn't what anyone expected.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'm a little tired of the Star Wars hate. I got to tell you. I'm a little tired of the people who are hating on what Disney has done to the Star Wars franchise. Shut the fuck up, please.
We got more movies. They're great.
We got more movies, and we got Rogue One, which is top 2, arguably, in the entire series.
I could argue with you, but it's not worth it because it's top tier.
It's absolute top tier. And I think that if you look at, for those people who are hating on what Disney did to Star Wars, can we please have a discussion about episodes 1, 2, and 3? Because
no doubt.
Because if that shit had continued, we would just not have Star Wars anymore.
Go revisit when we reviewed everything except The Phantom Menace and how vitriolic I was on episode 3.
Oh my God! And I thought, I went into rewatching some of those shows thinking that episode 2 was probably better. Oh my God! It is so bad.
It's like Ewan McGregor tries to put that on his back with Liam Neeson's gone, and he does the best he can, but he can't carry the whole thing by himself, and he has to.
Oh my God! That is.
And honestly, like. Solo, I enjoyed Solo. My mom enjoyed Solo. It was fun.
I enjoyed Solo very much. I'm sorry, Nevendar, if you didn't like Rogue One. You know what? Not every movie is for everyone. I respect your opinion. I also respect people who thought maybe some of these other movies were better. I mean, you enjoyed something I did not. Sounds like you won. So,
as long as you have a constructive criticism on them, it's all good. I'm down with that. Just don't be like, it's terrible, Disney sucks.
Yeah.
That's all I don't want to hear.
No. But The Mandalorian looks pretty amazing, and I think we're going to get more good stuff out of that.
You get the last season of Clone Wars. They're finishing up one more season of Clone Wars. Those of you who love Clone Wars, apparently it is the best. It's one of the best, and I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Finish Rebels. I've only seen season 1 of Rebels.
Yeah, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still subscribing to HBO for some fucking reason. And I need to get rid of that because I never use it.
Yeah, that's where I was. So Bainey and I are gonna split the cost of Disney Plus because it's gonna happen.
I think I have to have Disney Plus because I'm not losing all my Marvel. That is just not going to happen.
And the good thing is Netflix will still have enough content without Marvel that it'll still be worth it.
Yeah, I need to figure it out what I'm gonna watch. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 8:30.
Almost 8:30. We started early, we're ending early. It's our prerogative.
Yep, it's our prerogative. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to try and get some music going here. The end music. Okay. All right, it's going. But we're probably also going to get echo. So I apologize, people. I'll try to figure this out for next week. Maybe. Also, this bear is going to be goddamn done. I don't give a shit what it takes. Next week, folks, we are going to have Brushhead Gallery. It is coming back. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. Nevendar, I challenge you. I want to see something from you. Get it over to PwMenothJohn mennothjohn@gmail.com. The email hasn't changed. That's for damn sure. But keep close to the Facebooks because we're going to make sure everything's posted in there. PwMenothjohn@gmail.com. Get your pictures in. We're gonna be kicking the jams next week on the Brushhead Gallery, bringing it back. And make sure, guys, if you're watching on the Twitches, we would sure appreciate your donation. Get over there, buy yourself some swag. We don't care. Get a shirt. Get 2 shirts. Get all the shirts. Who gives a damn? Well, spend your money. We won't regret it. Anyway, so on behalf of Mr. John Spencer up in the catbird seat, I am Menoth John, and we're going to see you next week with the Brushhead Gallery. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I finished this whole thing, by the way.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
And I'm